Rule 16. Know the difference between price and value. I once asked my delightful father-in-law to explain that thing about wine to me. Can a bottle that costs $100 in a top restaurant really be 20 times as good as a bottle that you can get for $15 at the local shop? His answer was interesting. He said that you aren't paying for the wine alone. What you are paying for is the ambience, the service, the location, the wine waiter's expertise, the good company, the fine tablecloths, the privacy and discretion, the style and class, the tradition, the food and the trust, the humidity and storage, the tone and the surroundings, the fellow dining guests, and the great conversation. The wine is almost irrelevant, and that's the point. We think we know the price of something, but the value can spread out far beyond all of that. I have an old Mercedes. I like Mercs, but I'm far too mean to buy a new one and lose all that depreciation. I didn't pay much for it. You never do, as people are scared of them in case they go wrong, and fair enough, they do cost a fortune to put right, but you need to remember that because they are better made, they rarely do go wrong. I was visited by a friend who was driving a brand new car he'd just bought. A modern car, a small hatchback thing that looked like a mini spaceship. He looked at my old battered, mud-streaked Merc and exclaimed, "You must be doing well." I tried to explain that wasn't the case, and that he'd probably paid at least 5 times for his what I'd paid for mine, but he wouldn't have it. He saw the Merc and had decided its value was a lot more than the price. That is, what was actually paid for it. I learned that day about price, not necessarily equating to perceived value. Remember too that something is only worth what others are willing to pay for it. A catalogue may say the value of a painting is $1,000, but that's only true if somebody is willing to pay that amount for it. An important lesson to learn. The price of something can be far less than its actual value, either to you or to somebody else. Or a lot more. If you are going to be wealthy, and I sincerely hope you are, if you put into play the rules in this book and work diligently at it, then it's worth studying the difference between price and value. We think we know the price of something, but the value can spread out far beyond all of that. That is Rule 16. Know the difference between price and value. Rule 17. Know how the wealthy think. There is a simple test to determine whether someone will end up wealthy, or if they already are. All you have to do is watch someone read their favorite newspaper, especially if it's one of the big Sundays. Notice which paper they choose. Notice which sections they choose to read. Notice which sections they discard. Notice in which order they read their chosen sections. This is a test for you too. Have a look at the above, and make a mental note of what you do. The wealthy, those who have deliberately chosen to be wealthy, rather than those who have won the lottery, or inherited, God's lottery as I think of it, or married into it, invariably. Choose the more serious of the papers. Choose the more serious sections. Discard the frivolous sections. Read the money business sections first. If you are serious about being wealthy, you will have to learn how the wealthy think. This means studying the opposition, although very shortly you will be a part of them. You need to know the lingo and the language, where they eat and live, how they work and relax, how they invest and save. In short, you need to study money if you are to increase your prosperity. Try to get to talk to wealthy people. Ask questions. Develop a thirst for understanding and knowledge. Read about wealthy people. Interviews and autobiographies can be full of insight. You may also benefit from a few well-chosen business and finance books. I'm not going to recommend any to you, as I don't know your reading style. Find ones that suit you. Also, why not log on to the FT site or the finance pages of other online papers to keep up with the latest developments in the money market? Get informed. But what if this all feels a bit too heavy? If, like me, you like the gossip columns as well as financial pages, then you, like me, will probably never be extremely, mind-bogglingly over-the-top wealthy. We can still be wealthy, and we might have more fun too. Prosperous and fun? Sounds good to me. I think we have to be really passionate about money if we want lots. We have to live and breathe and sleep, yes, bearing in mind Rule 13 money. We have to study hard at the University of Wealth if we want to graduate. You may have to choose money or frivolity. That is Rule 17.